Live from Long Island, New York, it's Love, Death, and Taxes. Hi, Agnes. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful. It's a beautiful day today.
Excellent, excellent. It's absolutely lovely day and a great day to talk about something that I guess is near and dear to most professional women's heart: burnout, right? Something that could actually stop you from having those issues. I want to introduce everybody to Lisa and Dee, who are yogis who are getting their studio started on Monday. We'll get right into it after this. So again, ladies and gents, welcome again to Love, Death, and Taxes. Agnes, what have you been doing this week? Are you been good? Have you
Oh,
been
you
good?
don't want to know. You don't want to know. And actually, it's very funny. Since Monday, I have been thinking about yoga. It
Oh,
started seriously. This is just beautiful coincidence of everything. Once in my lifetime, I attend in Manhattan to hot yoga, and the way I felt afterwards, it was just heavenly. It was just heavenly. I felt so good. I tried to do it at home with the Mura, but not exactly. It's working out the way it's supposed to.
it's not the same
I was
thing.
thinking, I was thinking that I really should look for a place to start attending because although it's a beautiful day outside and it's nice weather, what the stress from work and stress from the clients and the family, it's kind of getting under my skin. And I was like, no, I need outlet. I really need some tools to deal with that. And let me tell you, wine is not good enough. It's not helpful.
Wine's not the only thing. You want to do a
No,
little wine and something else. Well,
no.
you're in luck. You're in luck. And so is everybody else in the town of Babylon, Bayshore, Islip area, because the guests that we have today are Dee Morrow and Lisa Hogan from West Door Yoga Studios, and they are starting a specific service, a specific set of classes for professional women who are going through, who may have or are going through, or feel like they might be going through burnout. And basically, now we're going to show them how to do yoga. Ladies, welcome, welcome to the show. How
Thank
are
you.
you?
Thank you.
It's great. It's great to have you here. Can you tell us a little bit about yourselves, how you got here, why you do this?
So I'm Dee, and I've been a registered nurse for 35 years. And I can tell you that I started yoga years ago from personal injury from work because, nursing is really a difficult physical job. And I had herniated some discs in my neck and in my back and had always been an athlete and was looking for some sort of pain relief always. My neighbor suggested that we take a local yoga class in the library. And it was this kind of silly sort of a thing where I didn't know what a mat was. I brought my kid's little mat that she like would nap on in kindergarten, and I'm standing between two tables right in the library, kind of surfing on the mat, and I'm looking around at all these people who are like really like steady and ease, and I'm like sweating and moving. But I walked out of there and I thought something just happened. And I'm not really sure what that was, but something really happened there physically and mentally and emotionally. And I decided to find a studio and start to practice. So, my very first class, the teacher said, "Does anybody have any injury?" And I was like, "Oh, I have neck injury." And she said, "Oh, so did I. But now look at me, I'm a yoga instructor. And maybe one day you'll be an instructor too." So you were
Wow.
saying, Agnes, about coincidences. There are no coincidences in life because here I am, a yoga instructor for the past 15, 16 years, helping others with injury, emotional, mental, physical injury. So it's all come full circle for me.
This is
And
beautiful, and definitely nursing is like in my other lifetime. I was in the nursing field. It's very demanding. It's extremely
yeah,
demanding
it
physically.
is.
So
It
I,
is.
I
It is.
my heads to you.
I
Thank you.
assume you got to pick people up, move them around, turn them, that sort of thing, and
All
that's
of
what.
that, and everybody
Right.
says 1, 2, 3, huh, and if one person doesn't go, huh,
At the
then
exact
there's
right
the
time, then
nervous.
you've got the problem. Lisa, how'd you get started being a yogi?
I was on overload at work. It was just always a high stress environment. And from being on the phone and on the computer at the same time, voila, I had very similar neck and upper back injuries. And on top of that, the stress of trying to keep everyone at work happy and fulfill everyone's needs at work and at home. And it wasn't happening. And it was really just creating this inner turmoil that led me to learning to meditate. And diving into that, then the next step was just, well, what supports meditation, which is, as we know now, that physical practice of yoga. You stretch the muscles, you move the body, and you relieve some of the physical stress that we're holding on to. And then you can dive deeper into meditation. So I kind of came in the back door to learning about the physicality of it, but we both arrived at the same point years later in our practice that this is the way to help yourself heal, to become grounded and healthy and whole again.
What is it about yoga specifically? Because Dee, as a person who's a nurse, a registered nurse, couldn't you go to something like physical therapy? Couldn't you? Are there other kinds of exercise or what? What is it that is different about yoga?
Well, it's all about the breath. So, I live in two worlds. I work in the woo-woo world of the yoga and the prana, and then I work in the very structured concrete world of nursing, where it's called hemoglobin and hematocrit. So
It's
the
right.
breath, no matter how it feeds you, and no matter what you want to call it, it feeds the body, it feeds the tissues, it feeds the soul, it feeds everything. So when you use breath and movement, you get yoga. So physical therapy is a beautiful tool to use, and the gym is a beautiful tool to use. But once you start to add the breath or the prana or the hemoglobin or whatever it is, that the chi, the ki, the life force, the energy, whatever you want to call it, that's the special sauce. The magic is using the breath. And so in yoga, every movement comes with breath.
Okay. Okay.
This is fantastic. Yoga. It's what the first thing comes to your mind. It's to achieving balance, right? To achieving your mental balance. That's what it appeals to me. And there's a lot of, not only women, everyone is stressed out, but especially women. We put up with a lot at work, we at home. For women, not only professional women, but for moms, it's very, it's very important to do that. Can you imagine? Like, I'm looking at those young girls right now running behind their kids and lifting them and doing different physical stuff, and they have no 5 minutes for themselves. I remember how it was all those decades ago
Yeah.
for me. It's very important, and to actually take few minutes out of the week, not the day, but at least a week, and attend to those sessions to regain that mental balance, not only physical, which is the great help to physical state, but for me to have that mental balance, stability, and clear my head, and finally take a deep breath, and okay, I can approach this, I can deal with that stress, I can deal with certain situations. I think yoga helps with all of that, and also, we start doing those ask Agnes segments, and it comes to relationships. This is fantastic. When we are relaxed, we can deal with a lot at home. Our relationships even can get much better when we are actually having this stable balance, and then we are less stressed and we can think clearly, right, girls?
Yeah.
Yeah. when my kids were younger, now they're grown, but when they were younger, I would come home from work and I'd sit at the dinner table and I'd say, I really need to go to yoga, but I don't feel like it. I'm too tired. And they'd be like, go to yoga. So they were trying to tell me something there that they even felt it when I went to yoga.
Like you were better when you went rather than when you didn't. I see what you're saying. And okay, so you've started this thing, you go and take yoga, but why decide to actually become a yogi and a yoga teacher? Why not just go to classes? I mean, that seems like you took on a lot.
Classes are, the first intro, but when you have the nature that Dee and I do, we're both learners. You want to learn the philosophy of yoga, the magic that's behind it. So here you are as a novice, you go to class and you feel wonderful afterwards. Why? And that leads you to progress in just finding the knowledge behind the magic of a yoga class. And it really, for me, became very addictive. I never thought I would actually teach because I'm, believe it or not, a little bit shy. But it was just, okay, I've got all of this knowledge. Now I want to share it. That is what drove me after that. Once I got sort of hooked on creating this well-being for myself, I didn't want to keep it all here. I wanted to give it to mom, to my friends, and now to the community that Dee and I have cultivated, because it's a gift. It was a gift for me. It kept my sanity through my work life. And even now, I still rely on my tools. So I want to share it with the rest of the world and just do some good.
And Dee, why did you decide to become a yogi?
So it's pretty much the same thing as Lisa was saying. When you start to seek the answers of why the magic works, and it leads you down this path of studying. It's not a religion, it's not Hinduism, but there is a lot of yoga based in Hinduism. And so there's a lot of teachings that go with it hand in hand, and a lot of lessons that kind of bring everything together. They call it the sutras. It kind of brings everything together, and it allows you to get the answers to the questions that you're seeking. So that's pretty much why I became a yogi. I wanted that. I had that thirst for information, but I also wanted to know why, just like you were saying. How does it work? Why does it work? What is that thing about it that's different than physical therapy, and what's then different than any other exercise? So I had to know why.
I heard, I was once a long time ago, but I was invited to a very interesting gathering, and they actually had a yogi there from India, and he sat and through it wasn't always easy to understand it, but one of the things I do remember him saying was that the meditation is for the mind, but yoga is kind of like meditation for the physical body. Is that the connection there? Is that what that is? I mean, I in the morning I have to meditate. I have to calm everything down. There's a lot of things blowing up in my brain when I wake up in the morning, and so the idea is, how do I funnel these things into something that makes me productive and doesn't make me spaz out by the end of the day, either on the kids or on a client, like a crazy person, right? Is the physical thing that you're talking about, this burnout, is that equivalent to calming people down? I mean, exactly how does yoga help with burnout?
So burnout, it happens because the very, very easily, medically speaking, is you are in this place where your sympathetic nervous system, fancy words for saying fight or flight, like back in the caveman days, there was the saber-toothed tiger that was running after you, and you were either going to flee or you were going to stay and you were going to fight. And we still have that. That's right in our very little lizard brain. It still exists there today. And so when you walk into a situation at work, like in the nursing profession, but even in school and the office, and you are on high alert, your body sees that as some sort of fear-based or a threat, and it puts you right into fight or flight chemically. And that happens like in between a heartbeat. It's not something that you can go ahead and say, I'm not going to do that today. So once you stay in that constant state of fight or flight and that's pretty much what we do in the world today, you start to get burned out physically, mentally, emotionally, and you have no more reserves and you have no more stores. So when you get into yoga asanas, particularly the yogas that Lisa teaches called yin and gentle flows that are slow and stretching, you're engaging the opposite of the sympathetic nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system, which just means rest and digest. It's the brakes. So when you are in this constant state of alert, of high alert, and your body is dumping all these chemicals because that's what it's meant to do, and then you learn this skill to slow the body, slow the mind, and connect it with the breath, you can get out of that burnout phase and into this rest, digest, and restorative phase. And that's how come we've come together and we want to really concentrate on helping this crazy, crazy world that's in a space of trauma right now to rest and digest, or maybe perhaps slow down a teeny tiny bit so that they can engage their parasympathetic system.
It's how many times I found myself in a situation. It's like I'm leaving the office. That's it. I'm not coming back. Never again. I'm done with this. It's not worth it. And yeah, until I get home and goes, damn it, those bills need to be paid. I need to go back. So you have to learn. You have to learn to deal with that, and simply, on our own, without any tools, just to calm down and start thinking clearly. Sometimes it's difficult. Like I said, wine helps, but then you start getting very happy and you're still not thinking very clearly. So I think yoga will help a lot, just the logical thinking, because if we're going to find a way to calm our mind, to actually be able to see what's realistic and what's not, when we come, we can actually think clearly. That's a very big help to anybody, not only women, but like anybody who doesn't need help with calming down and releasing stress. And we know that literally stress can literally kill. So it's girls, you just blessing coming to Long Island. You really are.
Where, well, you mentioned yin yoga. There are different types of yoga, right? Lisa, you want to explain to me why
Sure.
yin yoga is one and something else? What was the other one that you teach?
Usually a gentle flow or stretching class, but there are so many different types of yoga, and people sometimes become overwhelmed with what class they should start with and where they should go. So it's a really great question. When you move in and out of the poses and there's a break in between, that would be hatha yoga. Also a wonderful place to start. When you see people moving through what we call sun salutations or from one pose to the next, very athletic, that's a vinyasa class. Yin yoga is very, very different from that. I bring people into poses of deep stretch and we build one stretch onto the next, so that by the end of the class, they've gotten into these incredibly deep stretching poses that they never would have anticipated walking in they could get to. So we hold the poses 5 minutes, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. The reason we hold the poses for a very long time is because that affects the fascia, the connective tissue in the body. That gives us a nice ability to stretch and be flexible again, which we all tend to lose as we get a little bit older. And the reason I truly love yin is because we're there for so long, we get immersed in the pose, in the place that our body is in. Our mind gets a chance to shut down as we breathe. Maybe we use some mantra or affirmations through this. So it connects the whole package before we even get to the end into Shavasana, our final meditation. I've already brought people there, and then they get to go deeper when we're at the end of our class. So I would suggest anybody interested in this, yin is a wonderful place to start. A slow flow place is a great also great to start. But just look into different descriptions and find what maybe is attractive to you.
Yes, your website is now live at westdooryoga.com, right? So people can actually go there, make a payment, register, come over and see you guys. They are starting, ladies and gentlemen, they are starting their brand new studio on Monday of this week. That doesn't mean you have to be there on Monday, because we don't want we don't want people standing outside, but we definitely I'm sure you, if you're interested and you want to understand more about yoga and burnout and how it can assist you in calming down, that is definitely where you'd want to go, over at westdooryoga.com. I want to say thank you so very much for enlightening us about this stuff, Lisa and Dee. Agnes, you have any more questions for him? You've got anything else there?
Yes, very important question. Do you have classes for beginners? Because I remember my first attendance, those poses, I wasn't exactly sure of myself if I'm going to keep balance, if I'm going to be able to stretch certain way. So I'm hoping you have classes for people like me, for beginners.
So our teaching style is really about building the foundation. So the fact that I'm a nurse and I do understand body, and the fact that Lisa's been doing yoga for 30 something years and is very in touch with her body, we seem to start at the very, very beginning, regardless if you are an advanced yogi or if you are a new yogi, that we always start with building the foundation and then building the pose and then working through the flow from there. So pretty much every class is a beginner class. And in yoga, you're always supposed to honor your body and do what works best for you. And you can do whatever works for you in that class. If we suggest something that doesn't work for you, then don't do it.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I'm going to talk to my husband and try to visit you, the two of us.
Come visit. Come and visit us.
Guys are allowed too, right? It's not
Of
just for girls.
course. Yoga's for everybody.
Right. But there are lots of benefits for professional women who are ready to do the work. This is not necessarily a class where you have to go and be cute and yes, you got to bring your mat.
But
right?
we're cute anyway, so come on.
Thank you.
That just
Thank
happens. Okay, listen, if you want to be, you can. We're not counting that out. But I'm saying it's for people who are coming to do the work, people who are more serious about yoga and actually want to use it, not just for toning their body, but also for a more holistic approach, that sort of thing, right? That's what we're talking about. And ladies and gents, I want you to go and check them out. Check out Lisa and Dee over at westdooryoga.com. That's where they are. And if you are anywhere in the town of Islip, you're in the town of Babylon, you can be coming from further if you want. That's fine. But they're over at 5 Fifth Avenue in Bayshore, New York. And they start on Monday. And generally, you've got classes from Monday to Thursday, correct? Ladies, remind me how the classes go again.
We are evenings, Monday through Thursday, around 6:30. You can check the website for the exact times. And then Saturday, we offer a vinyasa, a sun salutation flow for people that are looking to move a little bit more. And we're building from there. Right.
And I understand you also have something special that happens on Fridays.
Friday night is our event night. So Dee and I are more thrilled about that because it gives us the opportunity to be creative, to bring in other aspects of our knowledge and create a true happy hour for people that will inspire them, help them to relax and to feel rejuvenated when they leave us. So it could be sound bowls and a little restorative yoga, which we didn't even talk about, but that's like taking a nappy poo on your mat. Maybe we're going to knit, we might do something hands-on and very therapeutic to shut the brain down. So just offering different techniques to achieve relaxation that may not be on your mat so much, little aromatherapy using your nose, all these different things that complement what we do on our mat and that other part of the work, but just something that we hope will create more community and bring people together, men and women.
Excellent, excellent. And it's all over at westdooryoga.com. And if you're going to check that out, they're over at 5 Fifth Avenue in Bayshore, New York, starting on Monday. Ladies, thank you so very much for your time today. I hope to see you around. I'll try to make it out to a class. I haven't done yoga in pre-pandemic. That's the last time. So
well, there's a mat with your name on it, Ryan.
Oh,
you as well, Agnes.
Absolutely. I'll honestly, we'll see you soon. Yes.
Okay. All right. Very well. Thank you so very much
for
coming to Love, Death, and Taxes today. And we'll see you guys next week, same time, same channel. Take care.
Bye-bye.